wish I could wear it as a tricorn, but it's just gonna... This is my Silent Hill sono?
It might,
It's it's a defensive.
I can kind of see through the gap.
Yeah, so now you know what it's like to live in Flatland.
So what?
Have you ever heard of Flatland? You're going to be today's Lucky 10,000.
But I don't... What?
Okay, so there is a novel that was written years and years ago that posits, essentially it's a story that someone is telling about what it's like to live in their world of Flatland. And it is a world that is on a two-dimensional plane.
Okay.
And all of the... So if you try to wrap your head around the idea of like, well, then how do you move about? Because if you were to... In a 3D world, if you were to look down at a two-dimensional plane, you would just see a bunch of shapes, and they would all be kind of moving around in that space, right?
Yeah.
But they have to be able to know and detect each other. But you can't really have eyes in a world like that, I don't think, because you...
They can see.
They can see, but it's like... Don't they see through, like, sensing what's around them? They can kind of detect...
See everything on the plane.
Yeah, but to them, there's no, like, up or down. No, it's just like everything on the plane is what they can see. And wrapping my head around the idea of like, okay, now imagine you're kind of Wolfensteining this thing, right? Where it's like everything is completely flat. The top and the bottom is just like, it's just gray, whatever. And it's just, you can see all the things that are in front of you as you spin around and do whatever. And it can be a very dangerous place because it's all shapes. And if you happen to like run into something and it pierces your body, then all of your stuff will come out. And so therefore, the most dangerous creatures of all who live in Flatland are triangles.
No.
Aren't they?
Cori
The most
sitting here.
dangerous creature is women. Because they're a long needle shape.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're the thinnest.
They're the thinnest.
That's
and you
right.
can't see them head on.
That's right.
So what they do is they scream a warning and wobble back and forth so that people can see them.
Right.
There's also a hierarchy where the
More
number
sides
of
you have.
sides, the more pure you are.
Yes.
So there are irregular triangles, but mostly there's like squares and diamond shapes, but then yes, circles. And they...
But even a circle is just like multiple sides.
It is.
Yes.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
There's no true like circle. They're just all like 150 sides or something.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they get visited by a sphere.
Yes.
Which is a true circle because when it intersects the plane to come visit them, it is a pure circle.
And so when I saw that, I was just kind of surprised by, right, so as the sphere passes through the plane, you'd see it getting bigger or smaller.
And it has eyeballs.
Yeah.
So, does the sphere count as the purest because it has the most sides, so many you can't even count them?
Well,
or as the bottom of the hierarchy because it has no side?
Well, it only has one
Is it
side.
infinite sides?
Yeah, but it has infinite sides, is really how they think of
Yeah.
it. And therefore, it's a god. It's a god figure.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah. And that's the challenging thing about it.
Now, is that a good date or a bad date?
Oh, you got the dud.
There's a book that my brother had when I was a kid called Planiverse, which is it's that similar concept, but it's like up and down 2 dimensions instead of flat. It's the principle is
Like
the
Flat Stanley.
the premise is that somebody has like a computer program that of like basically like a video game kind of thing that sort of accidentally kind of makes contact with a real 2-dimensional world.
Oh, okay.
And so I was kind of fascinated by as a kid because there's lots of like pictures in it of like diagrams of like how their houses and how the stuff
Yeah.
they're going back and forth, and like when one is going east and one is going west, they have a hierarchy for like the one going west has to lie down so the other one can walk over the
Yeah, and in this case, it's like if you're coming...
you can't get past each other, right?
Right, if you're coming across each other as two shapes, there's that the screaming of warnings. Cori remembers this so much better than I do, clearly. But it's like as you're moving around, as you're getting closer, because it's kind of foggy from a distance, but as you get closer, it starts to be a lot clearer about what it is that you're seeing. And then you have to try to move around each other. And they live in houses as well. They have like what essentially seems like a drawing of a house, right? That it's like they can move into them and they can live there and do that. But of course, at some point, the person telling the story talks about Lineland and the creatures that live in Lineland, which is, the one-dimensional land where basically anything that lives in Lineland, well, that's where you are, and if you want to move, you can't move around the other thing because you're just on a
So
line.
your span is whatever space exists between the two people beside you?
And if you want to move any further, that thing would have to die and disappear, right? It would have to not take up any more space. And
or you could just collaboratively poke each other to all move
and
further.
you all move forward, right? And you're always just kind of moving in one direction or moving in another direction.
You
That's
all
kind of
roll
it.
over and one falls out.
Yeah. Well, except that, of course, somebody would have to fall off the end of the world if there is an end of the world. But what if there is not? Like, what if you
If
just
it's a
reach
line, it should go on forever.
right? But also, what if the line is like a circle? Then they just all kind of just keep doing this.
Just forever.
Yeah.
It's a conga.
It's a very short, like thought experiment thing that the person does, because then they're like, and thus because Lineland exists, but also Flatland exists, that must mean that there is a land above that. He names it. I can't remember what it is. I don't think it's Roundland. I think it's something else. But it's like there has to be one above that. And of course, all the scholars are like, "You're out of your mind. How would that even work?" And of course, the sphere descending, that's part of that, and it was a brain breaker for me even when I read it in my 20s, because I was just like, right, because we think about what a fourth dimension looks like, but when you talk about using a computer to visualize what a hypercube looks like and what happens, it's like how do you view a hypercube? And it's like, well, you can't really visualize it entirely, but what you can do is you can display it as how it would be shown in multiple ways on a 3D plane.
Yeah.
Or, and it's like, okay, that's great. Thanks for that. There's multiple ways to look at it. And I just really liked that kind of getting to stretch my brain a bit to be like, okay, this is how this society that they've created works, and this is how our society works, because everybody has eyes and everybody has height, width, and depth. But trying to explain height, width, and depth to somebody in Flatland, and they're like, no, we know what height is and we know what width is. What is the, or whatever, two of the things are, what is this depth that you talk about, So, yeah.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, the 4D thing moving through our three-dimensional world is sometimes used as the sort of interpretation of the Lovecraftian type horrors.
Yeah.
That there's no way we can sort of comprehend them with our brains, and they're just, to us, it looks like massive tentacles and mouths and things, because it's actually a four-dimensional creature.
It's why I like Klein bottles so much, because a Klein bottle is a container with zero volume, and if you create it properly, you can fill up a Klein bottle and drink out of it, but it has zero volume.
Yep.
They're neat.
Yeah, they're really
It's
cool.
kind of a weird technicality thing. It's sort of like the Mobius strip, where
Yes.
it has one side. I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Technically.
you can make your own Klein bottle by taking a Mobius strip, and then once you have made it, so you have a strip of paper and you've made the whole thing, just roll the sides over and attach them to each other, and you have created a Klein bottle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
But you will find that you
sort
have
of
created something that has zero volume.
But it's because the inside is also the outside. It doesn't have volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like getting attached to a technicality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But somebody thought that they were very clever.
Yeah.
This is just making me think of, as a PAX enforcer, everyone has to pick a handle and they all have to be unique.
Right.
And there was someone who was a long-established enforcer named Mobius, and he was enraged the first year I started because it has to be unique. You can't copy someone's handle.
Sure.
So someone new had made their handle Mobius, 2 S's,
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
into a technicality. So,
Yeah.
And they
that's fair.
thought that they were incredibly clever.
I don't think Mobius ever found Mobius.
See,
So I
'cause
don't know how that
Oh, they were
went
gonna
down.
go. I thought you were gonna say somebody was Mobius 01
Yeah.
No.
username
Mobius
style.
strip.
If you really wanted to be clever, more clever at that point, you would have been like, no, my handle is Klein bottle. And then Mobius would have seen that and been like, oh, I see.